Hey y'all, this is Cheryl Abram and person-centered cyber. So I'm not going live tonight because I can't be having no problems from StreamYard, So I was like, let me just do it a Zoom and I'll upload it. But I don't know if y'all remember, maybe about a month ago, I told you that I was curious about subnetting and I couldn't figure it out. And everybody I talked to, a lot of stuff I read, the first thing they would say is how hard it is. Okay. So, I started to try to learn it. And, when I asked questions, I would not get the answer that I want. And my main question was, well, what's behind the bits? Like what's actually happening when you borrow bits, and all that. And I just could not get an answer, so which I am not satisfied with. So it's been like 30 days. I've been doing research and we did it, Joe. Okay, shout out to my girl, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. We did it, Joe. Okay, I figured it out and I put everything on the mural and I'm going to share that with you all here, but I'm also going to give you the link like temporarily so you can just go in there and look at stuff on your own. But it's been really fun, kind of frustrating, but we did it, Joe. Okay, so let me share my screen with you so I can show you my the mural. But let me tell you some other stuff too. Hold on, I can't do two things at one time, y'all. So I gotta, you know. Okay, share screen. Here we go. Where's the screen? There it is. I'm gonna share the computer sound too. Oh, we did it, Joe. Joe, we did it. We did it, Joe. Okay, so everything is here. All right, but before I get into this, now this has been a lot of fun too. I just want to remind y'all about my radio show that's going to be starting January 20th. Okay, I'm going to put the link in here under this video. In February, Blacks in Cyber is having a conference, and I will be speaking at that conference. And the title of my talk will be Thinking Like a Hacker Don't Work. Okay, now y'all, I've said that since I've been on here. Okay, now what I'm going to show you today is the alternative for what I'm talking about. Okay, so if Cheryl, if thinking like a hacker doesn't work, okay, what does or what could work? So we're going to talk about that today. And what else is going on? All right, so that's it for now, right? And so I'm going to put those links under here, and I'm also going to put the link to the mural so you all can go to this mural on your own and just see, everything that's going on. All right. Now let's move that out of the way because that thing is in my way. Okay, now let's zoom in. So I'm gonna start up here, and I put the arrows to kind of guide you, but you can go anywhere you want to go. Start anywhere, okay? But the arrows are there to give you a little assistance. Now this is one thing that mural does that gets on my nerves, right? You gotta lock down everything. Everything gotta be locked down, okay? So first, CIDR, classless interdomain routing. Now what I found out doing this research on my own is that we don't even use ABC anymore. It hasn't been used for a while, right? They've really been pushing this CIDR because IPv4 addresses ran out a long time ago. And I found out that they used to give them away for free. They just give people blocks, okay? Never really thinking that the internet was going to get as big as it did. But anyway, CIDR is the alternative to those A, B, and C classes, okay? And D and E and however many they have there. So it's about prefixes, right? Now this stuff is like really interesting when we get to the prefixes, let me tell you. But first of all, requests for comments, okay? It was recently that I even knew about requests for comments, okay? Now let me tell you something. One thing I said in another video that I did, right, about the mental models, and I'm talking about that here. is that Henry Ford is attributed with saying, if I would have asked them what they wanted, they would have asked for faster horses. Okay. I feel like the way we're doing cyber today, the way the focus on certifications, you know, and all that, I feel like CompTIA is providing faster horses. Okay, EC Council is providing faster horses. Okay, I mean that's just the way that I see it. Okay, based on what I've been doing here. Requests for comments should be, if not the first thing that I hear about, you know, coming into this profession, you know, it should be very close. If it ain't the first, it should be close to the first. Okay, never heard a word about it. All right, now. So I'm telling you, this request for comments for CIDR, okay, requests for comments for anything, all right, is they're great. I mean, they give you a lot of information. You find out the history of all this stuff, why it is the way that it is. You know, it's really good. So they had three main problems here, all right. Exhaustion of Class B. Now, all this is from the request for comments, okay. The growth of the routing tables, and of course, the exhaustion of the IPv4. Now, the CIDR is not to solve the IPv4 issue, okay? That issue was solved with IPv6, all right? So CIDR is just about those first two problems, okay? And I have here the traditional, let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see that. The traditional IPv4, okay, versus CIDR. This is what, now we ain't doing no calculations here tonight, okay? This is just about the path I took to find out what the hell is behind them bits, okay? When you're borrowing bits, what does that mean, all right? So that's what this is about. So CIDR is flexible and the longest prefix match, that's what we're looking for, okay? You know, find the network ID, the one that's the longest, that's the one we want, the one that matches, okay? What are the common bits, okay, that match, okay? All right, so from here, I wanna go down here. Now, this is where I'm talking about the mental model. Now, this is what I used to create this mural, okay? First principles is about deconstructing, okay? Getting down to the nitty gritty about what's going on. Deconstruction is like, I don't want the cake. Don't give me the cybersecurity cake, okay? Give me the flour, give me the milk, the eggs, the water, and let me put it together, okay? That's what first principles is about, okay? And that's what I used here. Double loop learning, all right? This is about questioning assumptions, okay? What do you assume to be true? I did a lot of that here, right? A lot of questioning, not just assumptions, but what I thought I knew, okay? A lot of them questions were asked. And then circle of competence, being honesty about what the hell I don't know, okay? And not pretending like, you know, if somebody asks, well, what's behind that and I don't know, then just say I don't know. I mean, you know, at least being honest with myself about what I knew and what I didn't know. So there's a lot of that here, okay? Now, and I'm good with that, okay? I really, really am, because I strongly feel like learning is not about being right. It's about learning. That's why it's called learning and not being right, okay? Now, the first thing, this is about the first principles. Computers as electrical systems. Y'all, I went all up and through electrical engineering and physics, 7th grade science. I mean, I was all over the place. It was fun though, right? It was fun, but I'm telling you, all over the place. So here you go. That's what they are. Computers are electrical systems. Okay, that's exactly what the heck is going on here. All right, and bus, anytime you see bus, you're talking about a whole bunch of wires. All right, a bus has been expanded to mean a group of wires. Okay, this is computer engineering. In electrical systems, it's a wire that connects to more than 2 devices. It's called a bus. All right. Of course, we know on and off, right, for bits. Now, energy markets. Okay, now I looked into IANA and what's the other one? The IEEE. I forget what the thing is, but these organizations are part of the energy market. right? I mean, when it really comes down to it, it's really about electricity, okay? Uh, which is why, which really helps support what I talk about regarding human rights and cybersecurity. Now, when you see this map about where all this stuff is happening, okay, you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? Now, the network interface controller card. This is very, very important because another thing that I was able to clarify for myself is that my laptop, my computer does not connect to the internet, right? It's the interface card that's here, right? The interface is the way that I get to the internet and the internet gets to me, okay? And my packets are able to leave my LAN and get into the WAN and all that, right? It's through these various interfaces. And I have like 10 interfaces on my whole LAN, right? And I have more than one in each device, okay? So I have more than one IP in this one device because I have more than one interface, all right? Plus I got virtual stuff and all that. Now that was enlightening for me, okay? Now moving over here, more about the electricity network. I love this picture, it's so pretty. Look at that, isn't that nice? So the electricity network. Now this is all about how electricity is made and how it goes from the high voltage place to the low voltage place until it gets to that box outside your house, right? And then from outside your house, now you have the inside, you got your, what is that box? Like when the lights go off and stuff, you gotta, y'all know what I'm talking about. That thing where you trip the wire or whatever, you know. So, and like for businesses, okay, how whatever is, so I have Verizon, okay? Verizon's responsibility is from that box out, okay? And that's their response. From the box inside the house is my responsibility if something's going on with my network, okay? All right. So the electricity network, right, is right here. Here's a picture of it. So it starts here, right? The windmill, the gas, the coal, you know, all the stuff that the water that goes into making electricity, okay? And then it comes down here, it's very high voltage from here, and then it gets down to low voltage in the transformers and all that until it gets over here down to the meter. Listen, you got to pay for that, okay? We know we have to pay for electricity. And guess what? All that subnetting you're doing, you got to pay for that too. All right, exactly. Now this that little thing I was telling you about, right? And then, you know, inside my house, you know, where I have all my lights on, my refrigerator, the radio, the TV, everything that needs power. Okay, so that's the process. Now look at this map, the energy market, and look at this one. This is one of those, you know, the real-time cyber attack maps, right? Look where the darkness is. You see how it's real dark? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know why they ain't got nothing up here. Maybe they don't, I'm sure, I'm sure Canada, I don't know why that's not lit up, but where is the energy? Where is the electricity and where isn't it? Where don't we have power for digital networks, okay? I'm just asking a question. All right, now from there, I wanna go up here. I wanna go back up here. Now this is where the bits. Now let's start here, okay? Forms of energy. What you're looking at right here, kinetic and potential, this is the network. This, you say it's electrical, electromagnetic, mechanical, nuclear, gravitation, that's the network, okay? That's what it is. It's in the way we experience the network, this right here, right? Communication channels, energy, all right? It's through sound and light and taste and, you know, all of our senses. We experience the network, okay? Now I'm speaking very broadly, of course, but at the same time, I'm being very specific. This is the network, okay? Now you'll see more about why I say that. So bits is a process, right? It's really a process, and it's a process that's in between two other processes. So on one side, we have static. It's called static. What the hell is it called? Static something, right? Like magnetic. So it's either 1 or 0. And that's it. It's either one, it's stable. That's it, stable. It's either 1 or 0. In the middle is us. And I think it's called, is it P bits? I think it's P bits, right? Because that's the kind of computing we use. And that's where the ones can go on and off, okay? And then over here on this side, you got qubits, okay, which is quantum bits, all right? So bits is the process of going on and off, all right? Which is like changing the current, okay, with voltage and stuff like that. And I'm gonna get to that later. All right, a single bit can represent many different kinds of data. Now, this is good for cybersecurity professionals to know, okay? You're not just getting words. You're not just looking for words, okay? Bits can be anything, right? Here you go. The purpose of a network, and when I say network, I mean energy, channels, a current, whatever, is to facilitate sharing of data and resources. And again, this is getting down to the first principles, right? The least common denominator. What is the purpose of a network? And remember, what did I say a network was? That's the energy, right? Is to share, facilitate sharing, okay? That's what it is, basically, okay? Now, let's just start there. All right, let's just start there. And this was also something that I looked up, bandwidth and broadband, because I was not sure. And again, this gets to that competence mental model, right? I'd heard it, I'd used it, I bought it, I paid for it, but I'm not really sure, what exactly that is. So I looked more into those things, right? For bandwidth is the volume of information that you can get at one time, right? Okay. Okay, so now here, IP addresses are assigned to networks. And again, what is a network? In different sized blocks. All right, now this stuff right here, it had me going in circles, child. I mean, complete circles. I worked on this for days trying to figure this stuff out. Now, I do not prefer numbers. I don't prefer them, okay? I love letters, I love writing, but I do not prefer communicating with numbers. So there was a lot that I had to get over, to really get into this stuff, all right? Now, interesting stuff right here, okay? So the data bus, you see wires, right? Used to transfer data bits between the CPU and memory. You see these here? You see these wires? You see right here, 16 wires right here for the data bus. And the address bus, you got some wires there too. All right. So when you say bits, it's currents traveling over these wires. All right. Now, each bit of the data has to be transferred here. And what does it say? The width of the data bus determines the amount of data. Okay. Always a power of 2. Which when you do the subnetting and all that, you see that everything is to the power of 2, right? Okay. And again, HV and MV substation. An HV substation is this picture right here. You see that? That's the HV substation. Oh, and wherever you see open is a link where you can get more information about this stuff. You see how this one here is Wikipedia? So just, come over. There should be a thing that shows you that on here though, but a lot of these have links on them if you want to go there and just get more information about this stuff, okay? All right, here you go. Bytes are grouped into blocks, blocks into files, files into directories or folders, and directories into partitions, all right? And we, those of us who just use a computer on an everyday basis, normally see from files and above, okay? Very important to know as a cyber professional, again, is where these things go, how these things, what are the building blocks of another thing, okay? Important to know that. I got a question. IPv, okay? All I'd heard was Internet Protocol version 4. But what I also found is that IPv, okay? P is power in watts, okay? V is volts, and I is the current, okay? I is the network. Question mark. Okay, could that be what that means too? And again, instructors out there, I'm gonna need y'all to get with the program, okay? And start telling people the truth. Classless addressing eliminates A, B, and C. It eliminates it, okay? There is no more A, B, and C class. According to the people who write the request for comments, okay? That was like, I think 93 that they wrote that thing, okay? No, the one I have here is from 2006 because I believe they made some changes or something. But I mean, if you talk about it, then talk about it. But don't talk about it like it's still a thing, okay? I mean, because one thing that confused me when I was trying to learn subnetting, and it's CIDR is not subnetting, it's actually supernetting, okay? One thing that confused me was going through all them damn A, B's, and C's, and then they get to CIDR. I'm like, come on now. You know, it was just easier for me to kind of like, you know, ignore all that, okay, and just start with the prefix first, okay, at least, you know, for me. Yes, so now, IPv address space as infrastructure. We're gonna do two, okay? We're not talking about network ID and all that right now. Infrastructure, why do I say infrastructure? Okay, so my ISP is Verizon, all right? So the ISPs purchase blocks of CIDR blocks, address space or CIDR blocks from the RIR, okay? So now you can go to the website and see these numbers about who the ISPs are and what blocks they have. Xfinity has 40 states. AT&T covers 21 states and Verizon covers 10 states right now in the United States, okay? And I say infrastructure because IPv4 address space is real property, okay? It's like real estate, it's real property. And there are markets out there, okay, where you can sell, businesses sell their IPv address space. March 2011, Nortel Networks sold their IPv4 addresses to Microsoft for $7.5 million, okay? This ain't nothing to play with, y'all, okay? That's why I'm saying as infrastructure, okay? These people are making investments buying this stuff, okay? And this is what the IP is for: interface, identification, and location addressing. Now, did I get to that? Oh, no, I haven't gotten there. Now look at this. I just happened to find this. For those of you who write for Wikipedia, and I've actually thought about writing something on Wikipedia as well, so I was really glad I found this. Wikipedia said, no, IP addresses are not people, okay? So you cannot use your IP address to represent you, because that's not what the hell it is. It's not about you. They say right here, IP address provides a rough geographical location of whoever you are editing in Wikipedia, okay? It's just like your address, my address is my address, but it don't stick to me like my name does, okay? Because I got people up in here. It's not just me. And that's what they're saying. Your IP address cannot represent you because it's not about people, okay? And they say here it may be controlled by 12 different people in 1 year. It can change. Your IP address can change. So they're like, no, no, no. Okay, if you want to do, you know, all these other things in Wikipedia, then we need human information, okay? Because the IP address ain't gonna work. So just for those of y'all who are trying to write for Wikipedia, just so y'all know. IPv4. Now listen, before you do this, you need an autonomous system number, okay? So ISPs like, again, Verizon, Xfinity, all of them, and some businesses have autonomous system numbers. Because what happens is when you want your range on the public internet, you have to go through this border gateway protocol, all right? And say, hey, y'all, I'm responsible for this block, okay? So anybody who want to talk to anybody else in this block, y'all got to come through me, okay? That's what it don't say it in those words, but something like that, okay? So the border gateway patrol. And here's just more information about Verizon. And again, go to the ASN website and it'll show you like whatever you want to see about these people, okay? Now, as infrastructure, I see IPv4 address space as zip codes, okay? As zip codes, right? So these are just blocks of space, okay? And I said in another post on LinkedIn, memory is space, like that is just space where you can do stuff, okay? You can't do anything if you don't first have the space to do it in, all right? So here we go. They're like zip codes. So TCP connects like a light socket. Now this is something else that I found out, right? Like a light socket. So when you screw in a light, it's a socket, like it's in there, right? It's in there, okay? So it's, and it manages reliability of the connections, and I'm going to talk about that too when I talk about the prefix. So addressing and forwarding to and from destinations. Okay, got these two models together. What else do we have right here? The three-way handshake. You see how they say network media? You see that? Mm-hmm. So if I'm sending something to somebody else, it's got to be transmitted, okay? Over what? How's it transmitted? Through this, guided, twisted pair cable, coaxial, all that stuff, radio waves, microwaves, electricity, radio waves, whatever, light, fiber optic cable, whatever the hell, okay? It's got to be transmitted over the network. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. IP address is not a physical object in a physical location. All right. An IP address is like, come down the street, turn right where the robbery happened last week, and then take a sharp left where that red brick house used to be. Okay. It's directions. It's telling you how to, you know, where something is, okay? What space it's in. And the IP address belongs to the connection. It don't even belong to the network interface card. It belongs to the connection, okay? And when there's no longer a connection, you know, it's only there when it's needed, right? Okay. Now listen, if y'all, oh, see, here we go again. If you all don't agree with something I'm saying, or you feel like I'm mistaken, please say so. You know, I absolutely 100% welcome feedback. Okay. Now let's come over here. This is fun. Okay. IP address space belongs to the connection. So we talked about IP address space as infrastructure. Now let's get to it as network ID and host identifier. Okay. Okay. Now we don't really, I don't know if we care about, you know, infrastructure and all that, because that's Verizon and all those other big, you know, people, you know, large businesses or whatever. This is mostly what we care about, okay? Now, when I say we, I'm talking about the consumer. I'm not talking about the cyber professional, because we need to care about all of it, okay? Every single thing. Okay, so an IP address is a logical address assigned by software in the router or server that can change. Remember what Wikipedia said? Okay, yes, they were absolutely right because it can change, okay? Now, we know how telephone calls are made. So we went from the zip code. Now these are area codes, okay? So you find your area code wherever you live. I'm over here on the East Coast. So wherever you are, you have some area code, okay? And so that's how I see IPs when it comes to, okay, now we're talking about network ID and that other stuff. So when you make a phone call, that's a circuit, what is it? A circuit packet, is that what you call it? Anyways, it's a stable connection that the phone company has to make between me and whoever I'm calling, okay? And if anything happens to that connection, the call drops, all right? And the, you know, because the connection is over copper cables, fiber, out, wherever you are, all right? So it has to be consistent, okay? This one thing has to be consistent for the duration of the call, all right? Now this is what I was talking about earlier. That box on the outside is the network interface. Isn't that interesting? The network interface, I didn't know that. I did not know that's what that was called, right? Just like the network interface in our devices, right? So all the wiring outside the network interface is Verizon's issue, and everything inside, all, you know, my outlets, my phone jacks, all that stuff, that's my, you know, my department, okay? Now, this is a switch, a circuit switch. So you remember the lady, I've only seen this on TV. I've never seen this like in real life or anything. I ain't that old. But this is where they went and they did the thing to say, you know, somebody's calling, so they plug into your line, wherever your line is and all that. Now, this is something that I discovered too. What the numbers in my phone number mean. Now, this ain't my phone number. This is from the time, y'all remember this song? 777-9311. This isn't a real song. I mean, a real phone number, because they tried to do it, but when you look it up, it says like too familiar or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, 202 is the identifier. Okay, that says where I am. Okay, on the East Coast in this area. Okay, because we already talked about the zip code. All right, now we get into the area code. The 3-digit prefix. Now, what is a CIDR? A CIDR is a prefix, right? The 3-digit prefix is the exchange location, all right? There's this place right here. That's your prefix. So this is like the common most significant bits in an IP address. That's what I see it as. So a combination of the area code and the prefix is like the network identifier, okay? So that's when the border gateway protocol, you know, announced, hey, this network belongs to Verizon, and this is how you know, all right? This is the network identifier. Now, those last 4 numbers, very interestingly, I found out, are the actual wires, okay, that these people would put those little tubes, you know, in to get to my landline. Now, I do have a landline, okay? I never talk on it, just for my kids, like, you know, when I'm not here, because they don't have cell phones. But yeah, so I was like, oh my God, that is so interesting. I did not know that about my phone number, right? And I see this as the host bits, okay? These are the host bits, the wires for the host bits, okay? Now look at this, y'all. I went online and found these people. So for my area code, which is 202, this is at least one of the central offices in DC. Okay, look at this. This is called the silly code, I found out, which is really, really cool. And it's just, you know, letters to identify where this is and what this is, okay? It has a switch type right here, the prefixes, you know, 202 is my prefix. and whatever that means, okay? And over here, if you go to areacodes.com, I put in my area code and my prefix, and it gives me, child, they got what they got, latitude and longitude, okay? So this is clearly where you are, okay? It's where, it's not me, okay? Because it still hasn't gotten to, this is where you are, the area code and the prefix. It narrows down, okay, where you are, where I am. You see that? And it's the same as the damn IP. All right, it serves the same purpose. Now, that's how the phone works right here, right? We got the circuit switched, and down here we got the packet switched, okay? Which is not just a straight line from here. No, they're broken up like Legos. Okay, you got a whole Lego. You break up in the Lego pieces, and you send it whatever way it goes, and and once it gets there, it's reassembled and given to whoever requested it. All right. This video. Does this play? Does this play? It won't play because oh wait, maybe it will. Oh, okay, what's next? All right, let's go up here. Now, into the CIDR. High order bits, that's that network ID part, all right? And it's asking, where is the space reserved for the connections that I need and the power I need to navigate the internet? Okay, so this is like the public facing stuff, all right? And the low order bits, right, which is the private, which is here in my home, where is the space that I need to run my stuff? Okay, to run all my routers or for the business, my printers and information systems and all that, okay? The number of most significant bits, now here's the whole, this is from the request for comments, okay? 4632, here it is, August 2006, that's when this was done. This number after the slash, and the slash is called something else too, I forget. All right. This number, so it's the most significant bits in the network portion of the 32-bit address, right? And they belong to the power supply of the IP address, okay? All right, and anything else after these is like, don't touch this right here, okay? Anything else after this can power the hosts, okay? All right. Now, this is a routing table. Now, you need to know about routing tables too to understand this. It'll be like the routing tables and ARP tables, okay? So without CIDR, this is what you got here. Okay, I got Verizon right here. All right, and I got all these on my router, all these addresses. Okay, now after I do CIDR, I have these addresses, same addresses over here. Okay, same range over here, but now I only got to worry about one, just one. Okay, to route stuff to. And I didn't put it on this board, but I saw something where, man, the numbers have gone down like exponentially. I think they really have since CIDR. And combines them into one route. So it's akin to my outlets or your outlets at home, right? If you have a power strip, right? So I have like a setup where I have like I got a lot of stuff going on over here, okay? And I got 2 outlets, okay? So with I have an outlet over here with 2, plug-ins, whatever you call that, and one over here. So I had to get a power strip, right? Because I got more than 2 things I need to plug in, okay? All right. So in this one outlet, where before I only had like 2 things, right now I plugged it in and now I got like 8 things, right? But it's still one of that one outlet. It's still just that one outlet. And the thing is, right, the way networks work, the way currents work is the things that need the power, they draw it. Whatever they need, they just draw the power, okay? So just because I added 6 more things into the outlet over here via a power strip, that doesn't mean it's taking energy away from the other stuff. No, everything is getting the energy it needs, okay? I just got to pay for that stuff, right? You're gonna have to pay for it, like I said before, all right? This is a market. This is an energy market, all right? You got to pay for what you use, okay? So that's what I like, this aggregation, I kind of see it like that, right? Or maybe even take it the other way. But the point is, there's one point where the power gets to the thing. And even if I expand how many things are connected to it, it's still, Verizon only still sees that I got one outlet over here. Okay, now how much power is coming out, is being drawn from it, is a different thing, okay? All right. So here's that picture again, right? So there's 2 connections between the router and our internet service provider. All right, one is the T1, and T1 can be, I read, fiber optic or copper, okay? And the other is ISDN, which is like a backup, okay, in case something happens to the T1. All right. Now I'm taking this is just one perspective, right? I'm taking it from the power perspective, from the electricity, from, that kind of thing, because I really was trying to understand what's behind them damn bits, okay? What's behind that? So, and what it seems, let me move over here again real quickly, is that, now I don't know if this is right or not, because y'all let me know. But when I borrow, okay, like when it says I'm borrowing bits to make subnets, right? The zeros, right? Is it that the ones in the network piece, that's where is it? That's kinetic here, right? That's the stuff that's running, okay? Like how servers can't go, they really can't go off, okay? They just have to keep running and running. I feel like that's what that is. And the zeros are potential, okay? They run, you turn them off, that's fine. They run, you turn them off and all that stuff, right? Which is, the stuff on the host side. Okay, so I don't know if that's right or not. It sounds like it might be close if it's not, all the way there. But so that's what that's a conclusion I've come up with. All right, so now this router is using CIDR, uses destination address, okay? You have that stuff. It's a super network, also called a supernet. All right. Longest network address, right? And for the low bits, where is the space reserved to power internal information systems and send and receive data? That's what I want to know. Okay, and this is the whole table. I told y'all we ain't doing no math here, okay? And again, this is what it looks like with and without. All right. And over here, so this network interface, so when I was looking at the network interface card, this is where I learned about, it's this card. Now I already heard that the network interface card is what connects to the internet, okay? But what I was not aware of, or what I was aware but really didn't give it attention, I think is what it was, right? Is that there's more than one, okay? So there's more than one IP address in here. Each card, each interface needs its own IP address, okay? All right. And these are just other pictures to support that. It's at the physical and data link layer, which was also interesting to me. And the device driver, okay, they interact with that. So you hear the data. So it's at these two layers right here, data link and physical. And the MAC address. The MAC address has parts too, okay, just like the IP. The OUI is assigned by that IEEE, those people. I think that's the acronym. I got a lot of E's in it, okay? And this is assigned by the vendor. It's like the serial number part or something, okay? And that's the whole thing. So we did it, Joe. I know what's behind them damn bits, okay? Is wires and currents, okay? That's what's going on. You just like, you're optimizing the power that you have, basically. You know, when you do that, when you make subnets and supernets and all that, you're taking advantage of your bandwidth, okay? So that stuff just doesn't go to waste, all right? Is, you know, what I see. So that's it, y'all. And like I said, I'm gonna give you the, I'm gonna give you, where is the part that does the thing? Oh, here it goes. I'm gonna give you the link so you can go over this on your own and, you know, just peruse at your leisure. And also the other links for the Blacks in Cyber and for my radio show. Okay, so please, again, if you have comments, or you can't write in the mural, okay, because first of all, I'm not done with it. I still got stuff, you know, to move around and add and all that. But so this is part of what I'm going to be talking about for the Blacks in Cyber. I had to think differently to get to where I got to with this information. I had to go. I couldn't stay in CompTIA books and, you know, cybersecurity websites. No. I had to go off in other places. Like literally, I pulled up stuff that you learn in like 6th and 7th grade. Okay, seriously. I was in computer and electrical engineering sites and videos, and you know, this one guy was putting together a transistor or something. Like, what the hell? I was all over the place, right? Because you know, and I had my own questions, you know, questions that I knew I was learning because I was asking different questions that I had never asked before, okay? Because the more I understood, the more diverse my questions became, all right? Now, like I said, this stuff may not get you to pass a certification, okay? But that's not your issue or fault, you know? Like CompTIA is selling fast horses, and all these other folks out here, some of these folks ain't even selling fast horses. They still slow, okay? Something gotta happen. I'm telling you, for real though. And it's like, I told my friend, I was like, okay, so these breaches are happening, this thing just happened, you know, it's been in the news. What are we doing differently? What's happening that's different? Okay. And not just because of this last one, you know, all the previous ones. What is being done differently? And with this one guy, I posted a video from him on my LinkedIn. I forget his name, but he said, you cannot hack your way to security. I mean, my stomach hurts. It just hurts, you know, every time I hear the word, you know, because it's like, what do you, I'm telling you can't hack your way to security. You just can't. Okay. And we got, I mean, hack fever, hack fever. All right. And not knowing what's going on. Like, why is this working like that? Why was this able to do this, you know, and not that. Like, where exactly are you? What's going on so that this was possible? Okay. And what can happen to decrease the likelihood that this could happen again? You know, I mean, none of that, none of those is, it's all about getting flags and getting, you know, I'm telling you, I'm just telling you what I see. I'm a social worker and a mother. All right. But I love this area. Okay. I really like the work that I do in cybersecurity policy. I love designing training. I love all of that. I love evaluation, everything. Okay. I enjoy it. Okay. And I want to share my enjoyment with others. So, all right, y'all. So go ahead and, you know, just go to the mural, peruse, you know, let me know what you think, either in the comments under the YouTube video or on LinkedIn or wherever. Okay. Very interested in what you think. And thanks for listening. So I'll see y'all later. Bye.